What's up, y'all? I'm just gonna I'm just gonna give y'all my defensive settings real quick to help y'all win more games, man. A big part of the reason I'm winning is because of people have a lot of terrible settings. And maybe they don't know, maybe they don't feel like looking at all of it. They want to just set it real quick and leave it as it is. So I'm gonna give y'all what I think is the best. You know, other people might give you other defensive settings. I'm gonna explain the settings and then I'm gonna tell you what I put it on, and then y'all can decipher what y'all want from that. There's a lot of different settings on 2K. Not all of them needs to be touched. A majority of them can be left alone, but some of them are must dos. Some of them are must dos. Some things you have to do to your settings in 2K. So we're gonna go over those, man. Soon as the game loads up, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and pause the game. Go ahead and pause the game because if you don't have your defensive settings set from the like the home menu, then they're not gonna be what you need them to be. So you're gonna go to game plan, go to defensive settings, and then you're gonna click on it. So like I said, if you don't usually typically edit this, then it's more than likely going to be on automatic already. Everything's going to be on automatic. You don't want to leave it on automatic. There's a lot of different settings. Not all of them you need to edit, okay? But some of them are must do's. Typically, what I would do, I would put on ball pressure on tight because it gives you a good balance in between pressing the defender but not getting blown by. So if you're playing against a good, really good point guard, you might end up getting blown by if you put it on smother. Even if you got a good defender, if they have like a high blow by badge, then more than likely they're gonna cook you. So I typically put it on tight. Off ball. Now off ball typically depends on the team that you're playing. I'll put it for the whole team. I'll put it on deny ball. Now, what this does is, as you can see, read the positives and the negatives. It's great to use against teams with a dominant score, but it makes you susceptible to the backdoor cut. Now, if you put it on deny ball, typically they won't help at all. They're always going to be holding that defender or as close to them as possible on the off ball defense. Any shooters, you want to go ahead and deny the ball, but if you not guard have a shooter in the center, um, you don't want to deny him the ball. You want to leave him because what that's gonna do is they're gonna help on defense if somebody gets into the paint, and they usually typically are going to get there pretty quickly. That's only if you have a big that can't shoot that you're playing against. But if you're playing against a big that can shoot, like the White Powell, typically I might put it on tight. Another important feature, I usually don't edit force direction. You can. If you want to get really technical with your defense, you can. On ball screens, I usually put go under. This does give up the jump shot. This does give up the jump shot. If they can get around those screens, they're not going to be able to drive on you with the pick and rolls. Now, typically, if you're playing against a comp player, they're going to be running around the screens looking to shoot. In that situation, you either want to go over, or if you have really good defenders all around, you want to switch. Hedge is extremely important, y'all. So if you're getting beat by these pick and rolls, which it has become really easy to get beat this year. This year it's really easy for the roller to get behind your big in a pick and roll. And that we don't want to ever happen. But if you leave it on automatic, it's gonna happen a lot. So the options for you really just depends on who you're playing against and what they're trying to do, right? So if you put it on no hedge, it's good against the ball handler if they're trying to dunk on you or something like that. If they're trying to get to the basket with the ball, but typically we're gonna see them pass it. So what I do is I put it on catch hedge. This is the best option to prevent the roller from getting open. With catch hedge, when a screen is set, the big is basically going to try to guard the paint. That way, if the ball handler drives and the big rolls to the basket, it'll be harder for that roller to get open. If you're guarding somebody that wants to shoot off the screen, they don't want to play pick and roll. They want to just run around the screen as far as possible and shoot. Catch hedge probably isn't the best option. You might want to go ahead and just switch those screens. If you put it on switch, then this will no longer, as you can see, hedge is going to be, you can't edit it anymore because there is no need for a hedge. They're just going to switch. If you're guarding somebody that's trying to roll to the basket and trying to get open looks with the center, catch hedge is the best option. Off ball screens, I pretty much always switch those. You're gonna get some opponents that's running a lot of plays. So the best thing to do on off ball screen is switch. Best thing is just the best thing to do. Unless you're guarding off ball and you're guarding those off ball plays, the best thing to do is just go ahead and have the CPU switch it. Most of the other settings and these settings would generally just depend on what your opponent wants to do. But this is what I would suggest as the base for when the game starts. Tight, deny ball. You can also edit the help defense by going to coach sliders. As you can see, I have it all the way down. Another key to this, to playing good defense, is, like I said, if you're not playing against a big that can shoot, what I typically would do is I would press the right D-pad, go to defensive adjustments, and then scroll over with the right triggers and go to big help only. And what this does is you can make it where if you press the double team button, the left bumper, they will literally leave them. Yeah, you see, I just held the left bumper. Now you look at Shangoon. Look where he is. He just leaves them completely and he just guards the paint. It's best to hold it, not press it. If you put it on big help only, again, you're gonna press the right button on the D-pad. You're gonna press the right button on the D-pad. Then you're gonna I'm gonna show you when I get the ball back. Press the right part of the D-pad, then press team adjustments, then press big help only. And when you hold the double team button, the center literally drops to the paint. He literally just drops to the paint. He goes all the way down. I don't know. I didn't know if Derek Lively was shooting like that, as you can see. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen him hit a three in a real game. He probably hit some, but not while I was watching. But again, I'm gonna show you one more time. Um, you hold the double team button, the left bumper. The center will literally just leave him. Um, Typically, you're not going to be playing against a team that doesn't have four shooters on the court at all times. But let's just say Derrick Jones couldn't shoot, and you put it on leave him as well. Now you will have two options of help. Now what you have is two players helping instead of one. So you see how he's leaving Derrick Jones? He'll leave him, and then the big won't help as much. But the thing about this is this only really works if the team you're playing against is not running five out. If you don't have a shooting big, just go ahead and leave them. It's okay. But yeah, those are the primary defensive adjustments that I use. I don't really have to. I usually don't really have to do anything else. That's the base of it. If you're playing against a really good comp player, you're gonna have to adjust these settings based primarily off what they're doing in the game. But I typically don't edit anything else. I just try to play solid, straight up defense with these settings that I just showed you, and 95% of the time, I really don't have to edit anything else. Go ahead and try to experiment with these, see how you feel about them, see if they're working for you, and understand that it's chess, it's not checkers. So you're gonna have to figure things out when you're playing against a comp opponent. Like if you're trying to play my team and you're trying to compete for however much money it is, you're gonna have to figure out your opponent because most of those players are gonna be comp. They're all trying to get that money. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are my defensive settings. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, if y'all have anything to add. You know what I'm saying? But that's typically what I do.